standing in front of my bathroom mirror, pinching my stomach, with tears streaming down my face, thinking, why am I not enough? And that's the question, isn't it? Why do we all feel like we're not enough? Let's go back to the first time I saw Fight Club. I was 14 years old, sitting on my couch, and when Brad Pitt shows up on this scene, I thought, I want to look just like him. And I know you'll be lying if you never looked at celebrities or a famous individual and think the same thing I did. And don't worry, you're not alone. A lot of teens actually suffer from this. This happens because you're dissatisfied with your own bodies. Around 60% of teen boys and 80% of teen girls suffer from being dissatisfied with their own bodies. This is caused by social media, movies, and just media influence in general. After the movie ended, I searched up how to look like Brad Pitt. And that was my gateway into the world of gym bros and looks maxing. Now, those of you may not be familiar with these terms, so let me define them for you. A gym bro is someone who lives a relatively healthy life. They have a balanced diet, and they go to the gym frequently. Looks maxing, on the other hand, is gym bro culture on steroids, both figuratively and sometimes literally. For looks maxing, it's not about being healthy or being fit. It's about chasing perfection, from your skincare routine, your haircut, your jawline, the way you sound, or even the way you walk. Although that sounds like a recipe for confidence, it is actually a breeding ground for obsession. To explain my journey with looks maxing, gym bro culture, and self-improvement, I would like to bring out a very special guest. Meet little me. I was in 7th grade when I had to move to Jakarta, Indonesia, into an international school. Due to how limited my English was at that time, I was quite insecure and awkward at the start. I still remember the first week of school. I went to the bathroom, locked one of the stalls, crawled under to another one, locked that one, and I had my lunch there the first week. I walked into classes with my head down, hands in my pocket, and trying to avoid any unnecessary eye contact. It was so bad, I couldn't even talk to the security guards, the drivers, or even the teachers. And that's me in 8th grade. It was during online learning at this time when I realized I didn't fit the ideal body type. And I thought if I can change the way I look, people will start to notice me. And maybe I'll instantly become that popular kid in school. So I looked up how to look better, how to be more attractive, how to have the better physique. And that's when I came across these fitness influencers and self-help gurus who claim to know everything about that. I looked up to them like they're my older brother, although they are just making things up as they go as well. And I was so young and naive, I didn't realize that these influencers are just as insecure, or even more insecure than me, and posting videos to teens online is just their way of projecting that. Like I said, I was young, naive, so I trusted everything they told me to do. I started doing those 5-minute ab workouts, which honestly doesn't really do anything except for taking away 5 minutes of your life. I started lifting, and by that I mean just a pair of dumbbells and a bench at home. I started eating less, but honestly quite healthy at the start. I would have toast and eggs for breakfast, chicken and rice for lunch, and steak and rice for dinner. But due to how drastic the shift was from eating whatever I want, doing whatever I want at any time I want, to having a strict diet and a strict exercise regimen, I was unable to retain that for longer than a week. So I would go back to eating whatever I want, doing whatever I want, at any time I want, like a kid should be doing. But then I realized I need to look better, and this cycle continues for around 6 months of my life. 9th grade comes along. And in 9th grade, it was different. I had a crush on this one girl, and because of that, my motivation to look better skyrocketed. I started eating even less. I started going to the gym even more. On some days, I would even spend 1 to 2 hours in the gym just doing cardio. And guess what? It worked. I look different. I don't know about better, but I know it's different. And I was getting a lot of attention. and validation at the time. The girl did notice me, but I couldn't handle that much of attention, so I let ego take over me. And the girl left. And I blamed it all on myself. I thought maybe my muscles weren't big enough, or maybe my abs weren't shredded enough. And that sent me spiraling into a dangerous rabbit hole of extreme dieting, overtraining, body dysmorphia, and taking supplements like whey protein and creatine, which I don't think any 15-year-old should be taking. 10th grade was the worst. I started eating way less. At some point, I was eating around 1,200 to 1,500 calories a day on average. And for those of you who may not be familiar with how calories are, let me show you a comparison. An average 16 years old eat around 2,600 to 3,000 calories a day on average. A toddler eats around 1,200 to 1,500 calories a day. And I was eating around 1,200 to 1,500 calories a day. Yes, I was eating the same amount as a toddler on some days, which is 10 times smaller than me. If you don't know what 1,200 or 1,500 calories look like, this is what I was eating during that time. For breakfast, it will be protein shakes. For lunch, chicken breast and a little bit of rice. For dinner, steak and a little bit of rice. Let's talk about some consequences of being lean now. First of all, you look amazing in the gym with the perfect lighting, with a pump. A pump meaning when blood rushes into your muscles, making them look more inflated and overall just bigger. But outside the gym, you look small, you look deflated. Sometimes you look like you don't even go to the gym. This means that you will never be happy with how you look because of how much better you look in the gym compared to outside the gym. Another consequence of being lean is your testosterone levels. Studies on bodybuilders show that extreme dieting can lower your testosterone levels to that of an 80-year-old man. This spikes cortisol, the stress hormone, which could lead to sleepless nights. And although I wasn't as lean as these bodybuilders or fitness influencers, I was still suffering from these consequences. I would come to the school feeling irritated most of the time. My mental clarity was non-existent. I couldn't focus. And I would wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. on some nights just because I was too hungry to fall asleep. Despite all the consequences I just mentioned, that's not even the worst part. The worst part is I was still not happy with who I am in the mirror. But let's fast forward to the past year and a half. Am I still critical with how I look? Yes. So what's changed? I've learned to accept myself, not just for how I look, but who I am as a person. Life is more than just looks. And yes, it helps to look attractive, but it's not the only thing that matters. Who you are as a person, how you treat yourself, and how you treat others, that's what really counts. Now, I have a mom I can share anything with, a dad who's always there for me, a sister who looks out for me, a brother who looks up to me, a girlfriend who genuinely cares about me, and now, I'm enough. Thank you.